How's it going, guys? This is Avollon, and welcome back to Avollon's World. Last episode, we fancified our armor with these new trims and built a shop over in Solstice, which maybe one day will be the home to all of our trims, but for right now is only one set. We have every other one here, safe and sound in the storage room, because Solstice is still very much dangerous at night. Today, we're going to be focusing on the Pottery Sherds and making ourselves some fancy decorated pots. And yeah, that's about it. No, we're gonna do some other work in Solstice and tidy up some stuff over there, kind of make it a little bit more filled in. You know, I have a couple empty spots over by the shopping area that I have some plans for. But I also never played this music disc, so maybe we should go try that out. I only got this, in the episode where we found everything. But we have a dedicated room, so let's go give it a listen. Definitely sounds kind of dirty. Okay, we're not going to sit here and listen to the whole thing. Let's get building a pottery sherd, decorated one. Maybe we should start with that. That's probably a good idea. So I believe it should just be as simple as that. Okay, they don't stack. Why don't they stack? They're just a regular pot. Can you? No, they just don't stack. That's gonna make using these immensely more difficult. But I do know that you can kind of stack these on top of each other, and then I'm just gonna take those back and pop those over there. I completely knew that those were going to stack entirely. And then I believe if we just kind of place a block, yeah, they could make some really cool decorative support pillars, and I definitely feel like I have some uses for that in Solstice. Might use it for the shop, might not, but they do just break instantly. And if you don't have a touch pick, I believe you get the just the materials you use. So you can put just the sherds in here, and that determines your decorated pots. Careful restoration. So I kind of went for like an exploring one, where you explore, you find the I can't even point at it, the warden, the wolf, and the sniffer. Kind of a little interesting decorated pot, and I really wish they would stack. Now my other problem with these, there's no way to replicate these, and I get, oh cool, you're supposed to go out and find them, that's the point. I feel like this is just going to be something that people do not use. They'll use the regular ones instead of the actual ones with the sherds. If you could just replicate these, even if it took like a piece of gold or something, with obviously like a brick, where you needed a specific mold to make it or something, just so we could actually like fully make a bunch of these like story decorated pots that you could have around. But for the time being, I guess we have to deal with finding these sherds out in the wild everywhere across the world. So these will stack in 1.20.3, which hasn't even come out yet, and it's in the snapshot phases right now. I thought I remembered seeing them stack. That's why I was so confused. So it is a thing. It will come eventually, but until then, we just gotta deal with, an infinite number of single decorated pots. Let's go. So my original plan was kind of to make a giant pot, 1-for-1. The problem is it's 14 by 14 by 16, and then another 4 for the lip on top, so that'd be 20. It's quite big, and a little too large for this area. So I decided to scale it down drastically. What was that? I don't know. I have to look back at that, but this is the shop so far, and I'm going to be using the pots as kind of like support pillars. And how many do I need yet? 3? I gotta go grab 3 individual pots, and I can kind of show you how cool this will be. Can I just okay, I can do that. And boom. I think that's a cool pillar. You know, it's something different, has some texture to it. You know, I could just use a wall or something, but this is the decorated pot shop, and yeah, I think it looks good. I gotta now make a bunch of decorated pots and cover this hole in the ceiling because even though it doesn't rain, the sun is quite hot in the desert. So this is the finished structure at least, and don't worry, this isn't all we have planned. I think I mentioned in last episode I wanted to do some sort of like shipping dock over here, and I also have this big empty spot behind the blacksmith that I kind of want to make like a little just fishing pier or something. But this is the finished structure. I have to decorate the inside. But the pots are entities, so I don't want to overdo it on them, because you can notice that they disappear similar to how chests do, and then they come into focus once you get close enough. But I actually really like how they intersect with the stair up here. It adds in just a little bit of detail that you normally can't get in this game, and I think it looks really good. And of course you're using the terracotta because it is a very similar color to the actual pot, because you can't just make like a smooth brick. There's a new block idea, Mojang. Smooth bricks are just that color. Go for it. Make bricks and clay a little bit more useful. But now I gotta... Ooh, there's a lot of particles. I gotta build this up a little bit, figure out what I'm doing for the offshoot. I don't know if I'll use bamboo. I'll probably end up using bamboo, to be honest. And yeah, I gotta decorate it. Which means I gotta make more of the pots with the sherds. I need more sherds. That's a growing problem I'm having. So I had another one of these market stalls, but I decided to use bamboo instead. And I've also added a bunch of signs to them. I guess I could kind of dedicate a stall for a specific item, but I haven't gotten that far in the planning process, I guess you could say. But I continued the path and finished the interior of the pottery shop, which I still technically need a name for. So if you have a suggestion, leave it down in the comments below, and maybe you'll get on one of these signs out the front here. I'll probably say the same thing on both signs, to be completely honest. Maybe, I don't know. Again, haven't gotten that far in the planning process. But we got some nice barrels and chests and cauldrons. I like just throwing these around because it makes it look like, you know, somebody put supplies there for a deliberate reason, and it's not just empty. We come inside and we have a bunch of fancy decorated pots. Now they're only on one face of the pot because, well, you can't see this backside, and then you have to come over here. Front face is probably the most common that you will see, and I figured instead of wasting the sherds to get 2, I might as well just make a bunch with just 1. Now, when we get a bunch of more sherds, we can also decorate these columns a bit and, you know, maybe tell a story with them. And that's what I think Mojang was originally going for with these pots. But, you know, can't replicate the sherds, so it's kind of hard to tell a story if you have to keep going out for the sherds. But over here, we've got some extra brushes, we got some bricks, and then up here we have all of the sherds. These I'm less worried about losing because they're kind of common. I say kinda. You have to really venture out in the lands. But then I'm actually going to take this book and put it over here. I'm going to put in this book, similar to how I did the armor trims, the locations and where to find them, which are both the same thing, of the shirts. So I know, hey, I want, you know, say the Heartbreak or this, well, I forget the name, but it's the Sniffer Pottery Sherd. You know, I can at least have a general idea of where to look, instead of having to, again, look it up all the time. But that's not all for Solstice today. We got one last project to take on, and it's actually kind of a long one. What my plan is to essentially make a kind of fishing pier / mini shipping dock for the shop specifically, and then run it along the edge of this, I guess you could call it a beach, up until that flat land, and create a nice little fishing platform so people can go fishing if they so desire. And maybe that's what that market stall will sell. Will sell fresh fish right next to the guards barrack. It's actually a pretty good marketing strategy. Now that I think about it, boom, fish. That's what that stall's selling. So the start of the fishing dock has been started, and I've been using bamboo because it's new. But technically speaking, it's not new because it's over a year old at this point. It's now March, by the way. These last clips were recorded in October. Yeah, it's been quite some time. I haven't uploaded any of the episodes at all. So I'm gonna try to finish this one, and I'm probably gonna drop like all of these like pretty quickly, and hopefully try to get some other stuff done before 1.21 comes out. Cause new weapon, the mace, wolves got like overhauled and different types. We got the trial chambers and everything, so a bunch of new stuff to be doing. I would very much like to finish Solstice here, but that is like a very big mighty if to finish Solstice here. You know, I am just kind of getting back into this from October to March. It's quite a bit of time, but not as quite as bit of time. I didn't upload a single episode in 2023. What is going on? I'm sorry, I apologize. But we got a dock. It took me forever to do it, but here it is. And I'm using bamboo. Like I said, I kind of like keeping the green just to kind of give some color. I hope it like shows up differently on the map. I haven't really tested that, but we got a nice little dock here. You can fish. That was up against the dock. Did you do that? You did that. You did that. All right. Let me. Because you're gonna. Wow, okay. Good to know. It's been a hot minute. You're just dying too. Alright, insane with you. I don't even want the cooked salmon. I cooked it in the water. That makes sense. This is my first time making bamboo rafts too. I'm pretty sure that's what they're called, right? I can't even make one, so. It's a raft. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. We're gonna roll with it. They're different. It's a boat, essentially, without the sides. That's all it is. But hey, bamboo. We have plenty of it, and I kind of like it. It like really complements the sandstone, and I probably should use it more in Solstice. We got a nice little like receiving area here for a mini loading dock type of thing, where people come in. Obviously, they're transporting in with chests and everything, and Minecraft isn't really realistic, so you can have all this here in a chest. Boom, done. So you may have noticed too, I've added some sandstone to make it look like it's been like worn down and, you know, walked on a lot. That the sand has been really compact and it's hard instead of being, you know, coarse, rough. It gets everywhere. And yeah, so the only thing I really have to do yet is to continue the fishing dock yada that way to really fill in this spot here, which I probably will add a bigger pier, I guess is what you would call it, onto it, and maybe add some oars and stuff as to like this is where the blacksmith would get his oars, you know, from, you know, the savannah biome or the mesa, you know, because you would get the gold from the mesa. That would make sense. So, you know, it makes sense. And that's all that matters because, yeah, it makes sense. I also forgot to mention, they're adding more trims and pottery sherds and banner patterns. Finally? Banner patterns, finally, if I say that correctly. I think that's great. You know, they really kind of neglect some older features, even though it's from the most recent update, but they never really like, okay, let's add another armor trim. That's cool that they're doing that, but you know, that means when the update drops that they're in the trial chambers, which I'm going to anyway. I don't have to go dig out one of the freaking, what, I honestly forget the name of the thing that I had to dig out. That wasn't like all that interesting and really hard to find. If I'm being completely honest, it was really difficult to find. One of the it's not the ancient ruins. It's not, what is it? I don't know. I'll remember it sometime in the future, but leave it in the comments. Maybe I'll figure it out before then, but maybe not. and you can remind me, because yeah, it's been a hot minute since I played this game, so please help me out. I need a refresher, alright? What is Minecraft? So I'm kind of going for something a little bit more unnatural, if that's the word I want to use. Less uniform and just kind of random. Because you want the dock to be open, you don't want it to be fully enclosed like over there, but you also want it to be safe, and then again, safe isn't fun. Who wants to be safe? So now I just kind of gotta figure out where I want to place these random support beams to make it not look so free-floating and not so uniform. I think I gotta work on this one a little bit, but it's the general idea. I wanted to keep the green going as well as the bamboo, and then keeping a little bit of unnatural wall there with some light, and then we come over here to what should be the blacksmith's personal dock. So, I got a fancy cape too. Look at that. It's a creeper cape. 15 years in Minecraft, you know, this episode's taking forever. So eventually, once I get to it, who knows when that'll be, I want to, no, you don't do that, you do that. I want to terraform the ocean floor here, because quite clearly, you're going to want a bigger ship to transport raw materials like iron and coal and copper and stuff like that. You're going to need a big ship like we have. It's over here, if I remember correctly, kind of like one of the basic vanilla Minecraft ships, not one of the tiny boats, you know? We need a ship, we don't need a boat. But as you can tell, this area right here is very much flat and will very much not allow an actual ship to come through without it digging through the bottom of the ocean floor. Essentially want it to be as deep as that, pretty much. I will get to that at some point to make it look better on the map too, because right now it's only one deep, but for the time being it's making it easier to build, at the very least. Okay, and with that, I believe we have a functional, I mean it was functional before, fishing dock, and look at that, there's a fish right there ready to be caught. Got some barrels, some other decorations. I'm not quite sure if the light level's fine back here. I really gotta check that at night, because I don't feel like looking at every block. And in F3, I think I still have the texture pack, but still, eventually this place will be spawn-proof, but that's not the goal for today. The goal for today was to just get this fishing dock done, and the receiving dock for the blacksmith. The dock itself is a little lackluster, because it's hi, how you doing? The underside of house slabs can't really place anything on top of it without it looking weird. So it's just kind of here to unload everything, and then everything comes over here. Here we got some deep slate iron ore, some copper, and there's some coal down there. But I also added some sandstone to make it look like a little beacon path, because, you know, you would come up here, the wheelbarrow to help move the ores, and then you're right back here at the blacksmith in the little market area. So that connected everything, and from afar it looks pretty good, and definitely does add a lot of color onto the side of Solstice. Now, this spot right here is still a little bare. Not much I can really do about it. I'll probably line it up and just leave it empty. You know, you don't want to fill up every corner, but you do want to fill up pretty much everything, and this spot just really can't be used for much, you know, because the tower's there, the staircase is there. You could make the argument it could be used for extra storage for the bakery, but who knows. Let me go update the map. I shall return. So I say that fills in the map pretty good. The bamboo does add a little bit of color, so that's cool. You know, because Solstice is pretty bland otherwise, because most of the structures are made with sandstone, and the floor is made out of sand. But I believe, besides maybe like a handful of areas, when I say handful, like one or two over here, I think this entire front section, probably like right here and here, of Solstice is done. Finally, you know, it's only been a couple months. When I say couple, it's been a lot. But yeah, 1.21 is on the horizon in like a couple days, but this episode won't be out in a couple days. Because I still have yet to release the other ones before this. But anyways, guys, that'll do it for today's episode. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave a like. If you haven't done so already, make sure to subscribe. Give me some comments down below on suggestions. I've got plenty of space back here. Besides a giant pyramid, I have very little ideas about what the rest of the space will need. And this is a city, so give me some ideas down in the comments. Maybe I'll give you a shout out or even put you somewhere in the world. But anyways, guys, catch you guys in the next one. Farewell.